system, moving pretty fast, and it is still moving even faster now, being closer to the sun than at the discovery time, and it will leave, of course, the solar system. And we are lucky to have the opportunity, thanks to the Virtual Telescope project, to observe, to spy this object, my friends. Images are coming live, I want to repeat. The Virtual Telescope project is bringing to you live images of 3 High Atlas Comet. Maybe you have heard a lot of things about this object, but trust me, this is a natural object. This is a comet for sure, a very intriguing one, but still a comet. I still fail understanding why any other kind of idea has spread so much despite the clear nature, the cometary nature of this object. Let me show again images. I'm so happy that the Virtual Telescope project is making history once again, bringing no less than such an exceptional object live to you. I also want to show the inverted image so that you can perhaps see the tail pretty well, while those streaks are satellite trails, my friends. The Virtual Telescope project is bringing to you the Interstellar Object 3 High Atlas. I know that you have been waiting for this for a while. Now this object is pretty well visible. It reached the minimum distance from our sun at the end of October, 29 of October. I just want to repeat, this object was discovered this summer, the 1st of July, by the Atlas survey, and it was clear since the beginning that this object had something very special. It was moving pretty fast at the discovery time, despite it was far from our sun, 670 million kilometers. Not very different, let me say, from the distance of Jupiter from the Sun. Despite that huge distance, this object was moving pretty fast at the discovery time, 61 kilometers per second. Then it reached the inner solar system, and the perihelion, that is the minimum distance from our star, was touched on 29 of October. At that time, 3 High Atlas was not visible from our planet for a very simple reason. As seen from the Earth, 3 High Atlas was behind our sun, so behind our dazzling sun, so it was not possible to spot it from our home planet. Day after day, week after week, we could recover it in the morning sky, and now we are observing it. We also observed this object from Mars, thanks to space probes and orbiters there from the European Space Agency and also by NASA. And NASA will release something interesting in a few hours by now. We are confident that this object has a size, a dimension smaller than a few kilometers, from a few hundred meters to a few kilometers. These are the best estimates as for its size, and as you can see, it's clearly behaving as a comet, and the cometary nature was clear pretty soon after the object was discovered. Now we are waiting also for another important opportunity, and the Virtual Telescope will cover it. Of course, it will be the 19th of December, when this object will be at the minimum distance from our planet, still a huge distance, almost twice the distance of our sun from the Earth. But anyway, we will be ready, and we are here bringing to you no less than this fantastic, very peculiar object, my friends. always keeping an eye on the weather. I hope you appreciate the amazing opportunity technology is offering us right now. The Virtual Telescope project is based in Italy. I am sitting at my desk in my office in Rome. The telescope is about 120 kilometers away from me in the beautiful landscape of Tuscany in Maremma, and nobody is there, so it's a totally robotic, remote observing telescope. And from here I'm sharing what the telescope is seeing right now with all of you. The Virtual Telescope project has been around now for 20 years, my friends. Wow, 20 years, and we shared everything happened in the universe over these 2 decades. As you can see, we are not asking for money. And if you want, you can contribute to our mission. I'm just preparing a quick note to share on the chat. As I was saying, the Virtual Telescope project has been around for 2 decades now, gaining a legendary reputation. If you are here, it is because you have learned about this opportunity somewhere on some important website, newspaper, press agency, whatever. So as I was saying, we've been here sharing live the cosmos for free over the last 20 years, but still we need your help. So please consider supporting us, donating at www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. I really hope you will consider this opportunity in order to have our bills paid and our project alive, keeping this kind of activities. We never ask for money. We believe that we belong to the same beautiful universe and that everyone has the right to enjoy the universe where we live. But no matter this, of course, we have to pay bills. And if you can support us in this, we will be very, very grateful. So if you want to support us, if you want to see more, if you like the idea to have the Virtual Telescope around, making possible to the world to see all these amazing things for free, consider supporting us visiting www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. Amazing that we are enjoying this interstellar comet. Three High Atlas. Now that it is leaving the solar system, it came from very far away, from the galactic disk, and very likely its age is larger than the age of the solar system. So it's a very precious opportunity, the third ever after Oumuamua in 2017 and Comet Borisov in 2019. I say the third opportunity to study something coming from abroad, I mean from outside the solar system. And this object is very special also because of its extreme hyperbolic orbit, which is absolutely the orbit of a natural object. This object has nothing to do with anything else than a natural object. This is a natural comet, my friends. So, and we are really seeing this personally, we are witnessing this all together thanks to the sharp eyes of the Virtual Telescope project, as you can see. So happy, so nice. We had the opportunity to enjoy all these things. Please keep in mind we are taking several images. Let me make clear what is happening. The telescope was pointed on this interstellar object, and I started taking images. If you look here on the upper left, you can see a countdown. Being this a faint object, you need to take long exposures, okay, to collect a picture. Every exposure is lasting 2 minutes, 120 seconds. And I asked the system to take 22 images in a row. And we are taking the 19th image of the whole set. And you can see here the object in inverted palette. Here it is a much more familiar black and white picture. Now the new image. There is also an anti-tail here, which is still a natural feature, of course. There are so many interesting things to be said about this that we really don't need to, I mean, to talk about strange things having nothing to do with this object. Let's limit please to the real nature of this one, which is still a very overwhelmingly, beautifully interesting approach to learn about this precious visitor. Look how nice this object is in this live feed brought to you by the Virtual Telescope project. I hope that you are enjoying this opportunity brought to you by the Virtual Telescope project, as I said, and I hope you will consider the opportunity to support our project by visiting www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. Comets typically have several tails, my friends, so really nothing strange here. I would like to just simply underline that in order to fully understand, in this case a comet, people should know what comets are. I cannot judge something if I really have no idea about the thing I have in front of me. This is a comet, behaving perfectly like many comets we have seen over the last few centuries, particularly since when we have a telescope, and honestly I have seen hundreds of comets, and this one, while very special, being an interstellar one, is still a comet, and it's behaving like a comet, it is moving like a comet. The orbit is an extreme cometary orbit, but still a cometary orbit. I don't know how to say, and it is a pity that we are concentrating on something not real, while we should enjoy and love the real side of this beautiful object. I'm happy that those on the chat are appreciating this opportunity. Okay. we are observing this in real time, my friends. Just to give you an idea how this object looked at the time of the discovery. Here it is. This image is showing 3i Atlas. The day after the discovery, I took this image and it was just a dot of light, as you can see. Let me see if I can. And you see, at that time it was hard to spot the object because it was crossing a rich Milky Way field with plenty of stars on the background, while now the situation is completely different. But basically now the object is much brighter, and you can even spot this object if you have a 200 millimeters large telescope. You can try to look at this visually through your telescope. And another image we collected late on July, where we recorded hints of its cometary nature, like a very pale cloud of dust around the nucleus. Here it is, an image coming from last August, while this one was at the beginning of this month, November, when we recovered 3i Atlas in the morning sky. Again, early this November. And this one, this beautiful image collected 10 days ago via our telescope with a faint complex tail. And here it is, the last image from our archives, my friends. Now back to live feed. How beautiful the comet is, my friends. How happy I am to share these things with you. Let's take new images. The sequence ended. Okay. I asked the system to take more images now. So happy and honestly a bit lucky to have this clear sky to share with you now. Okay, let's say this. The tail, more or less, the sun could be imagined to be on in the bottom right corner, my friends. The longer tail is basically pointing in the opposite direction than the sun. To capture the images I'm sharing with you, we are using a 10 inches large astrograph, part of the Virtual Telescope project facility in Italy. We have been investigating the chemical nature of this by spectroscopy, such a very powerful technique to learn the chemical composition of very distant objects, even stars and very far away galaxies, so to speak. Of course, Ranger Blue, I will do such an integration. I will use these images, stacking them in order to have a much better view, and I will be publishing it on the Virtual Telescope Project website as well as on our social media. If you want to support us, please visit www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. This way we will be live keeping these activities. You can check and see our reputation. We have been around for 20 years. We have been featured by the most important media, magazine, newspaper, press agencies, space agencies of the planet. And our mission is to share the beautiful cosmos where we live. And as we belong to it, I think, as the director and founder of the Virtual Telescope Project, that we have to offer a free opportunity to everyone to enjoy the beautiful universe we belong to. But again, we need to cover and pay bills, so if you want to support us, please consider visiting www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. Now Dennis, the telescope you mentioned is not the one I'm using here. Here we are using the astrograph, the 10 inches astrograph, the Arctic telescope. And of course, we will be tracking this object for a long time, and we will schedule another live feed covering it around 19th of December, when it will be at the minimum distance from the Earth, still almost twice the solar distance. But keep in mind, there is another comet I want to tell you about, the K1, the Atlas K1 comet, C2025 K1 Atlas comet, which underwent a dramatic breakup of its nucleus. Very likely you have heard about that, and we will be showing live that comet as well, 25th of November. Visit www.virtualtelescope.eu to learn more about this other upcoming live feed. Again, free live feed, my friends. How happy to see things working, technology working. And a very beautiful opportunity to share something unique with the world. This is the mission of the Virtual Telescope. Sharing the wonders of the cosmos live for free is the mission of our project. We earnest images can be downloaded from our website, and you really don't need to donate anything. They are there for you for free. Really, really, we don't want any money to share this experience with the world. But if you believe that this is, worth your support, perhaps you will want to support us. Yes, that is definitely a comet. We had this clear since the very beginning. That this one was a comet was clear within, I would say, a few hours after the discovery. We are here up and running, my friends. So happy that we are seeing these things. Virtual Telescope project once again is making possible to you to spy something unique like this object, my friends. You can see that the sky background is brighter and brighter because here in Italy the twilight in the morning twilight has just started. Non-gravitational acceleration is typical with comets. After all, comets can be considered like natural rockets because of the mission on gas and dust, so it's absolutely normal that there is no gravitational motion, pure gravitational motion here, that is effects of something coming from a source different than gravitation. This is typical with comets. I'm so proud that once again the project I started 20 years ago is making possible for you to see something honestly unique. How nice to see so many people wishing to look at the beauty of the cosmos. And now, my friends, I'm going to close this live feed now that we are quickly approaching the morning twilight. I hope that it was interesting for you to join this, and I'm looking forward to bring to you the next beautiful cosmic show. Just visit www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate if you want to support our project, keeping our program alive. We will never ask for money to the people to join these experiences, but still we have to cover costs, maintenance, to pay bills. So if you want to cooperate, if you want to support us, you are very, very welcome. And also I strongly suggest you to subscribe our YouTube channel so that you get notified as soon as we plan something new. Next week we will cover the other Comet Atlas, that is not the interstellar one. This one is interstellar, the other one is a typical comet, but exceptional because the fragmentation of its nucleus, and we will show that dramatic event live. Thanks to you, my friends. Thanks for joining. Thanks for waiting. I was sorry a couple of nights ago to reschedule because of the weather, but we cannot change Mother Nature, luckily, and I was happy that we could do this tonight. Take care, my friends, and keep looking up. Gialuca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project, Italy.